Hey guys, Nancy with another tutorial. Today I'm going to be taking you guys through how I pattern dragon claws and griffon talons. And this is a certain kind of patterning where you have a central piece with a central toe or claw, and you can have two side talons or claws. You can also have a back talon, as Gabby has here. So today I'm going to be using Gabby as my example because she's the most recent plush that I made using this technique. So I'll just run down what we're going to be patterning. So Gabby has a generic paw at the back, that's quite easy, but today we're going to be focusing on her front talons, which are a little bit trickier. So to pattern her leg and front talons, we're first going to pattern the central piece, which is going to comprise of the leg, the central sort of piece, the back talon and the front middle talon. And then we are going to add to the pattern two side talons here and then another one like this on the other side. So what I like to do is find a nice profile reference of the character, and I trace that out, and I use this in a lot of checking for my references as I'm developing the pattern. So what you're going to do is you're going to do the same. You're going to find a profile image of your character, and we are going to pattern the central piece for our leg and toes. So what I've done here is I just erased all the little details. And here we're going to have our central piece, and this is essentially going to be two pieces, so just one for each side, quite simple. In Gabby's pattern, I did pattern her upper shoulder into to be machine sewn, but you could have it like as if you're patterning a pony, a pattern like this, but that doesn't really matter. So what we've done is we've drawn the outline, including the front central toe and the back toe. That's optional depending on what you're drawing. So if we were doing a more like a paw on a dragon, we would draw more like this, and then we would get rid of the front and the back. But today we're going to be doing little talons. Just on a side note, if you were doing a dragon and did want to add his little claws, that's quite simple. Say our central dragon toe looked something like this and we wanted to add a claw. All we would do is draw the shape of that claw, and then say that was white and that was purple, like on Spyro. All you would do is cut these pieces out separately and sew this line here between the white and the purple, and then when you were sewing the entire pieces together, you would sew down and then go around to include the claw and keep sewing all around. And that applies for every single piece, every single claw on each of your little paw pads. So it would look something like this. So now that we've drawn our central pattern piece, we're going to now pattern our secondary pieces, which are our two little talons on each side. So I'm going to make a new layer above that central piece layer. I will colour the central piece just to differentiate it between what we're doing now. Maybe not such a garish colour, I don't want to hurt your guys' eyes. So now that we've got our two pieces, our two central pieces, we're going to start patterning the talon. So I've got my reference here that shows the shape of the talon, and I'll just lower the opacity on that so we can use it as a reference. And I'm going to take my brush and we're going to draw the outer shape of that talon. So the front of it's going to look, here we go. So we're going to just trace what the front of the talon looks like, and I'm going to match up the bottom of this talon with the bottom of the central piece. And then we want to work out where the back of our talon is going to sit. This isn't something that is usually drawn in these these toony style kind of characters, but usually I just round off the back somewhere that looks neat, where it would be appropriate for the back of this talon to spring from, and then just line it up with the front of our pattern piece. And you can neaten that up, use the pen tool, or I will just quickly use the eraser here. So now we have the outside piece of our talon. Now what we want to do is pattern the inside piece of our outer talons. So here we have our outer piece, and we're just going to make a copy of the outline. And now we want to decide how big our inner piece is going to be. Generally, I just like to make a nice, neat sort of circle towards the base. And our inner outer talon, so the inside piece that matches with this piece, that is going on the opposite side of that dark pink piece, is going to be shaped something like this. The curve of this line here is going to pull our talon more close to the central pale pink piece. And what we're left with is this sort of round shape. You can make the shape more extreme. Something like this would pull the talon in a lot more, but it will be more difficult to sew. But I just like to keep it sort of like a little circle. Also, what we want to do at this time is we want to mark some reference points around this circle, and this circle is going to be open on the plush. So this is going to be where the stuffing from the inside piece can filter out into these outer claws or talons. So I like to just mark where the inner piece is going to meet the outer piece. I usually make about 8 marks all up. So then I'll go and do the very top, the sides, the bottom, and then just a couple in between. And I usually make a little triangle on the very top mark so that I can remember, just as a reference point, this one goes at the very top. So what we're going to do is make a copy of this. So now that is our our inner talon piece, sorry. And we have our outer talon piece. So this is the inner piece that is going to be sewn up against here. And we also have the little circle with our little marks on it. And what we want to do is we want to get rid of the drawing of the inner talon and just leave this little circle with our markings on it. And we want to merge that with our central piece. So you can see now this becomes part of that piece. When we are sewing all these pieces together, what I like to do is put these, and colour this one so it's a little bit easier to see. So these are right sides together. We want to sew this line. So then you'll have your little talon, and then you'll have an open flap at the back. And then we'll take both those pieces and we'll bring it over to the central piece, and you are going to stitch around this little circle. Ideally you would still have, I should have left those little markings on there. So it should look something like this. And you'll stitch all the way around that little circle, and then you'll have your talon machine stitched to one side of your central piece. Then you're going to repeat the same process for the opposite side, and then we are going to stitch these two pieces together and you'll have your finished talon. It's a little bit confusing, but I hope it makes sense to you guys. This can be applied to pretty much any plush that you want to have a central leg with either a toe or 2 toes, and then a talon or claw at each side. So hopefully this video was helpful. If you have any questions, send me a private message, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!